All right, today we are digging into Palantir Technologies. This is a company that's right at a fascinating and maybe even critical turning point. You've got a story that starts deep in the shadows of national security, and now it's exploding into the world of enterprise AI. So yeah, let's get right into it. So let's just start with this unbelievably bold claim from Palantir themselves. This isn't just some corporate mission statement. They are flat out declaring that they're going to be the foundational software, the operating system for the entire AI revolution in business. It's an incredibly high-stakes goal, so let's see how they actually plan on getting there. To really get what Palantir is today, you absolutely have to understand where it came from. The company's unique origin story isn't just a fun fact, it's literally the foundation of its competitive advantage in the market right now. Okay, so think back to the post-9/11 world. That's where Palantir was born. It was founded with one single mission: build software for the U.S. intelligence community to help them connect the dots and stop terrorist attacks. This deep, two-decade-long history working in the most secure, most high-stakes data environments you can imagine, well, that expertise has now fueled a massive pivot into the commercial world where, guess what, that exact same expertise is in huge demand. Palantir's real power comes from this deeply integrated ecosystem of four key platforms. It all started with Gotham. That's their legendary software for defense and intel. Then you've got Foundry, which is kind of its commercial twin, creating a central brain for a company's data. Now, the real game changer here is AIP, the artificial intelligence platform that lets companies safely use things like large language models on their own private data. And then there's the unsung hero, Apollo, which is the software that lets all of this run anywhere, from a public cloud to a classified government network, or even out on the battlefield. Now, at the very heart of all Palantir's tech is this concept they call the ontology. And honestly, this is their secret sauce. It is not just a database. Think of it more like a dynamic digital twin of an entire organization. It takes all the messy, raw data and maps it to real-world things: customers, supply chains, factories, you name it. This is what gives the AI the context it needs to go beyond simple chat and actually reason, make decisions, and carry out really complex actions. Okay, so with that foundation, let's look at the bull case. The argument here isn't just that Palantir's growing, it's that the company is going through a fundamental business acceleration that the market might be seriously underestimating. So what's driving all this optimism? Well, it really boils down to one headline number that has gotten everyone's attention: a truly staggering 93% year-over-year growth in its U.S. commercial business. I mean, this isn't just strong growth, this is hyper-acceleration, and it's happening in their single most important market segment. But you might be thinking, is this just a one-time fluke? Well, the leading indicators suggest, nope. Total contract value, which is basically the value of all the new deals they just signed, is up a massive 222%. And the remaining deal value, which is the guaranteed revenue from contracts they already have, is up 145%. This shows that this hypergrowth really has legs. So what's the catalyst? What's lighting this fire? It all comes down to Palantir's Artificial Intelligence Platform, or AIP. You'll hear a lot of analysts calling this its iPhone moment. And why is that? Well, because it solves the single biggest headache for companies today. How do you actually use these powerful AI models safely and effectively on your own secret proprietary data? And you know what they have fueling all this expansion? An incredibly strong financial position. We're talking about a fortress of a balance sheet with $6 billion in cash and, maybe more importantly, zero debt. This gives them just immense strategic flexibility to do whatever they want and the resilience to handle any economic storm while still investing like crazy in growth. And this financial strength isn't just cash in the bank. It's also about insane efficiency. In the software world, there's this benchmark for a healthy business called the Rule of 40. You just add the revenue growth rate to the profit margin, and if it's over 40%, you're in a great spot. While Palantir's score is 94%. That isn't just good. That is an elite, top-tier signal of a superior and wildly efficient business model. And just to put that 94% score into perspective for you, take a look at this comparison. Palantir is actually outperforming established tech titans like Meta and Microsoft on this key efficiency metric. It shows that as their revenue is scaling up, their profitability is scaling up even faster. But, and this is a huge but, all of this positive momentum leads us to a much, much more complicated conversation. Because for all its strengths, Palantir is standing at a very precarious crossroads when it comes to one thing: its valuation. And this is the absolute heart of the bear case. This right here is the central question that every single investor has to grapple with. The bull case is incredibly compelling, right? But has the market already priced in not just success, but absolute flawless perfection for years and years to come? Because that leaves zero room for error. And that really brings us to the central conflict, the whole debate in a nutshell. On one side, you have this incredible story of fundamental business acceleration, a revolutionary AI platform and elite financials. But on the other side, you have the sobering reality of an extreme valuation, persistent insider selling, and the massive risk that they just can't execute flawlessly forever.
So let's break down those risks. That valuation is probably the biggest red flag. It demands perfection. There's also a very real question about whether their historical, high-touch, hands-on sales model can actually scale to a mass market. And then you've got the stuff that makes investors really nervous, like seeing top executives consistently selling huge amounts of stock and the company's heavy use of stock-based compensation, which waters down the value for everyone else.
And these aren't just vague concerns. Here are the hard numbers. The company's trading at a forward price-to-earnings ratio of over 240. Its price to sales is near 90. I mean, both of those are just sky high, even for a tech company. And then seeing over $116 million in net sales from insiders in just 3 months, well, that's a number that you just cannot ignore. So where does all this leave us? How do you possibly reconcile these two powerful, completely opposing stories? Well, the verdict seems to be one of high volatility, and it means this stock requires a very, very specific kind of investor. Ultimately, what we're looking at is the textbook definition of a high-risk, high-reward investment. The potential upside could be a generational opportunity to own a dominant force in enterprise AI, but the downside is a very severe correction if the company fails to live up to these incredibly high expectations. The main takeaway here is the Palantir is not for everyone. It is best suited for an investor with a truly long-term outlook, somebody who can stomach massive price swings without panicking, and someone who fundamentally believes that Palantir is building something absolutely essential for the future of business. And so that leaves us with the final critical question. Is this the company that will actually become the essential operating system for the AI-powered enterprise, making its current valuation look cheap years from now? Or is it just a masterpiece of hype, a brilliant story that's been priced for a level of perfection that may be impossible to achieve? That's the billion-dollar question you have to decide for yourself.